To be academically eligible for a D1 scholarship, your student athlete needs to maintain a 2.3 GPA on a 4.0 scale. A student can have straight C's and still be getting their college paid for. So why is it fair for people who strive academically all through high school, leading up through college, into college, to not get very much money and help just because so much money is being put into student athletes? My name's Brooke Crow, and I am fighting for harsher rules and regulation when it comes to scholarship for student athletes. Personally, throughout high school, I maintained a 3.9 GPA with an ACT score of 27. When a friend of mine had a GPA under 3.0 with an ACT score of under 20 and still had a full ride to college for basketball. And he had a full ride from the beginning. But I'm not knocking him in any way, shape, or form, but I just don't see how it's fair that people who achieve and strive all through high school, especially to get into these colleges and apply for scholarships, just you don't get the money. Me personally, I got a little over $1,000 in scholarships and grants this year, but it's because my FAFSA, my parents make too much money to help, but that doesn't mean that they're helping me any. I'm all on my own. So I don't think that it's fair that I worked so hard in high school and continue to work so hard in college. And yes, $1,000 is a lot of money, but when you think about it in school, it's not. It is not. It barely covers books. So by the time you get it towards tuition and fees, you have a couple thousand left. So that means that I have to take out loans. When I was out of high school, I got offered to play softball in college, but it was not realistic for me to play, seeing that I had to get a job because I do have to pay for school and I do have to pay for so much, and I'm going to school about an hour away from where my parents live, so it's not realistic for me to be able to live at home. I have to live on my own, so I don't think it's fair that my money got taken away just because I couldn't play a sport in college. My grades were still very good, but yet I'm not getting the money as like student athletes would be getting. The sad part about many student athletes though is they do not succeed. Despite the NCAA's insistence that it is concerned about student athletes and academic growth, it often feels as though the student plays second fiddle to the athlete. That statement is kind of broad, but at the same time, it's really sad. These big schools, with these big schools especially, or even little schools in general, they are focused on their athletics. If you're a coach, you want to win and you're going to do whatever it takes to win, and you want to have a winning program and you want to have a good program. And same with the university, they want to have a winning athletic program in all aspects. So the student, where you're going to college to pursue a lifetime career, you're going to school to learn a trade, a profession, it's being put second fiddle to the athlete. And so that's what makes it the saddest. It's not over the thousands and thousands of dollars that we're losing, but it's these students are being like put up for failure. You're grabbing these C average students from high school and putting them in college and adding community service, adding just practice hours, study hall, your extracurricular activities, and they still have family time and they have prior obligations. Like, you're taking somebody from high school who just focused on sports and then 8 hours of school every day, if that, and putting them in this situation, and you're expecting them to succeed. And you're throwing thousands of dollars into them, and they don't even last a semester. The NCAA does not use the GPA listed on your transcript. Instead, it calculates your GPA using only NCAA-approved courses. Now, I saw this firsthand in my high school. There was 2 athletes in my senior class who, when we took regular courses, they took other courses in order to be able to play NCAA sports. So, with that being said, of course, the school wants the athlete to succeed and the student to succeed, but it becomes hard in high school because you see this little small town, which is where I grew up. They want a star. They want these kids to succeed, so they're going to do whatever it takes for them to get through high school. So in many cases, the student isn't doing much of the work, the teacher or the other peers or anybody helps them out tremendously. I'm not saying they do their work, but it's not preparing them for anything that they're going to have to meet in high school. And so, with that being said, they're only taking these core classes, and these students have decent, if not really good grades with the help of others. And I'm not saying every athlete is like that, but in my case, from what I've seen it a lot. So they're taking these, and then you're sending them out to college once again, and thousands of dollars are being thrown into these students. Just at Cameron, tuition alone is around $5,000, $6,000 a year, and if you have a full ride, just calculate that for 4 years. How much money is being put into this? Not only tuition and stuff, but extra employees, transportation, housing, like just so much money is being thrown into these students, but they're not technically earning it with their grades. They're just earning it with their athletic abilities, and a lot of them do not make it. Now, I understand that in order to have a good program, you have to have big names. And in order to get big names, you have to have money to get these people in. For instance, Trey Young, just offer him full ride. He was a good student, but just as a overall example, how much money did OU put into him to get him to play there? Oklahoma University, for example, going off of Trey Young, averages around 86,520 people per home game last season for football, with a general admission ticket being sold at $80 a piece. So you can only imagine, $80 a piece for just general admission. That doesn't count box seats, season tickets, student tickets, the front row tickets. It brings in the money. And so money builds up the university, builds up the campus. So I understand that. And in order to have these big winning programs, they have to have these big winning athletes. And so in order to get the big winning athletes, these colleges compete, money-wise especially, on who can offer the student the most. So now we have all the information. Now how can we change this? As stated earlier, the student only must maintain a 2.3 GPA according to NCAA laws to continue to be eligible to earn money. The number is extremely generous. Like I said earlier, you could have straight C's and still be getting your school paid for. And I think that's absolutely ridiculous. I think that a comfortable number would be a 2.8 at least. Now, like I said, they have so much thrown on them, and it's not fair. I'm not dogging student athletes, but I'm supporting students like myself who've worked their butts off to get where they are, and they're not getting any help for it. So I think a standard of a little bit higher of a GPA must happen. Same goes with being accepted to school and receiving scholarships. I think an equal amount of student athlete scholarships and regular student scholarships should be somewhere around the same, because like I said, why is it fair for somebody that doesn't have the grades to be getting money and somebody who has amazing grades but they can't throw a football or they can't swing a bat, that they're being gypped out of a college education and receiving money for something they earn just because they don't have those abilities? Thousands of dollars are being spent yearly to send these programs on student athletes yearly, to send them to programs to play sports where they do not even make it through the year. Something has to be done, and I hope that you support me in this rally of people coming together. So for all the reasons listed and explained above, this is why I encourage you, my readers, to speak up and help non-student athletes get the same opportunities as student athletes. You must make the change in the movement to have any sort of effort or initiative done. Something has to be done for future generations, because this is only going to continue to get worse. Thank you.